that flies in the face of Gladiator lore. Gladiator 2Subtly fixed major production error from Ridley Scott's Oscar-winning original movie. Gladiator 2Subtly fixes a mistake that Ridley Scott's original made back in 2000, earning an enthusiastic reaction from VFX artists. Hitting theaters last November, the sequel to Gladiator follows Paul Mescal's Lucius as he becomes a hero of the Colosseum more than 15 years after the death of Russell Crowe's Maximus. Gladiator 2 reviews were generally positive from critics overall, but the movie, which also stars Pedro Pascal, Denzel Washington, Joseph Quinn, Fred Hetchinger, and Connie Nielsen, was criticized for relying more heavily on VFX than its predecessor. In a new episode of their VFX Artists React YouTube series, the VFX artists at Corridor Crew analyze some of Gladiator 2's VFX moments, generally praising the mix of CGI and practical effects that ends up on screen. When taking a look at the movie's opening fortress siege, they point out that the film also cleverly uses VFX shields to hide camera operators in the middle of a shot. Wait, those are camera guys? Co-host Ren Weichman asks, surprised, after not initially seeing the camera operators in the pre-VFX shots. Co-host Jordan Allen then points out how the shields fix a moment from the original Gladiator, where a camera operator is clearly visible in the stands of an arena. I'm sorry, but I can't accept this. That flies in the face of Gladiator lore. You're supposed to leave the cameraman visible. Haven't you ever seen in the original Gladiator, there's a cameraman visible in the stadium? You're supposed to leave the cameraman. When it comes to putting massive battle sequences on screen, few can do it with the confidence and ease that Scott can. The 87-year-old director memorably did this in the original Gladiator with the opening battle, but he also pulled off similarly impressive sequences in movies like Kingdom of Heaven, Black Hawk Down, and Napoleon. At least one collaborator, however, has criticized his methods. In an interview with the DocFix documentary storytelling podcast, Gladiator 2 cinematographer and frequent Scott collaborator John Matheson criticized the director for his really lazy filmmaking methods. It's now relatively well known that Scott likes to have many cameras going at once while filming, especially so for major battle sequences. According to Matheson, this approach necessitates removing camera operators and equipment from shots in post-production, and it also makes scenes much harder to light since they're being shot from multiple angles. He is quite impatient, so he likes to get as much as he can at once. It's not very good for cinematography. It's the CG computer graphic elements now of tidying up, leaving things in shot, cameras in shot, microphones in shot, bits of set hanging down, shadows from booms. And they just said on Gladiator 2, well, clean it up. Though Matheson's comments suggest that Scott's methods have changed in recent years, the fact that a camera operator was visible in the original Gladiator does suggest that, to some extent, he has been making movies like this for decades. Previously, however, with visual effects not where they are today, more attention had to be paid to keep camera operators and equipment out of sight. Gladiator 2 is arguably not as good as the original movies for a handful of reasons, including the script, but it's possible that Scott's new approach to making movies is at least partially to blame. Gladiator 2 has a 71% critics score on Rotten Tomatoes compared to 80% for the original movie. At the same time, though, the scene in Gladiator 2 that features the VFX shields hiding the camera operators doesn't really stand out. The VFX shields are part of a much larger, very dynamic scene, and they're only really noticeable if someone is specifically looking for them. There are likely other scenes in Gladiator 2 that feature similar effects, and some viewers are now sure to try to spot other instances of cameras being hidden.